So in a city of about 260,000 people, that's 7 to 15 people a day moving here. And if you count in some of the suburbs, maybe 10 to 20 people a day moving here. Not a ton, not, so much like you hear in Raleigh and Charlotte. I've talked to people and helped people move here from all over the country, from one corner to the other, even from other parts of North Carolina to Winston-Salem. These are the real reasons why people are moving here. I'm Jeff Valentino. If you're thinking about moving here, I have a relocation guide that you can download below. I'm a real estate agent. I love helping people buy and sell houses. All my contact information is down there as well. One of the big reasons people are moving to the Winston-Salem area is the housing affordability. With the average home price around the U.S. being over $400,000 and the average home price in Winston-Salem being about $300,000, $310,000, you get a lot more home for your money. So what people are doing is they're moving out of places, like New York, California, Texas, and things like that with much higher home prices. They're cashing out some of that equity. They're moving here, they can get the same size, bigger house, or just pay cash, put a larger down payment. People are taking equity out of these more expensive homes, buying a much more affordable home in Winston-Salem, and setting themselves up much better financially. And even with home prices going up all across the country as they've gone up in Winston-Salem as well. They're not as low prices as they used to be, but still when you consider the national average, you can still get much, much more home for your money here versus many parts of the country. Even some of our upscale neighborhoods tend to be around the price of an average home throughout the US. Next reason is taxes and insurance. North Carolina has a flat income tax rate, and actually it's good news. It's been going down the last few years, and it's scheduled to go down incrementally the next couple years as well. But also North Carolina has no estate tax. There's no state tax on Social Security and certain types of pensions. But a big thing to go along with the lower than average home prices here are lower than typical property taxes. Property taxes in the Winston-Salem area are much more affordable when compared to a lot of other places around the country. Now again, not everywhere, but just in my experience of helping over 100 people move here from all over the US, property taxes here tend to be a lot less. And wherever your favorite place to look for homes are, you often see the property taxes there. The one thing to look out for is if it's new construction. New construction homes here, they're priced with property taxes just as the lot value only. So you won't get a clear picture if you're looking at new construction on what the property taxes will be. A good general rule of thumb though is figure about 1% of the purchase price will be what your property taxes are. Now please, just a rule of thumb. There are plenty of places where it's lower than that, and there are some places where it's higher than that. But just as a general rule of thumb, if that's what you're looking at, consider about 1% of the purchase price for property taxes. A surprising area where lots of clients have told me they've saved a lot of money is on their homeowner's insurance and their car insurance in Winston-Salem. Obviously, places like Florida with hurricanes and things like that, homeowners insurance is going to be really, really high. But it's like quadruple of what they're paying here and sometimes more. But auto insurance, generally more affordable here. But when you're saving a couple $1,000s a year on homeowners and automobile insurance, that adds up to be real money. Next reason people are moving to Winston-Salem is just the overall quality of life. They're looking for something with a little bit slower pace maybe than what they're moving from, but they still don't want to be in a really rural town. They want to have access to some city amenities, but just overall slower pace of life. They would looking for sometimes that's family or retiree friendly. And I mentioned plenty of times on how friendly the people are here. Almost took me off guard when I first moved here, how willing to chat people were and things like that. But that makes it really easy to get to know people here. And if you're joining a group of some kind, you can really start to make connections easier. And then when you also consider Winston-Salem has an A+ rating in diversity on niche.com, and that's diversity in all senses of the word, not just race, but also ages, all different age groups. You have college kids. Winston-Salem is also a great place for retirees. It's on many top lists for that. But then you also have diversity in cultures, and you have economic diversity here. You have blue-collar jobs, white-collar jobs, retirees. But all this diversity makes Winston-Salem and the suburbs just a pretty big melting pot, especially when you think of the South. You might not always think of that, and it just makes it much easier to feel welcome. Next reason people are moving to Winston-Salem is actually job opportunities. There was just a recent article in the Triad Business Journal that said wages in Winston-Salem continue to grow year over year, even while some other cities like Raleigh have seen a decline in their wages year over year. Winston-Salem's are still on the rise. Actually, Winston-Salem in that article said was ranked 6th among the 15 MSAs that they looked at in overall wage growth year over year. When you combine that with North Carolina being always at the top of the business-friendly states in the country, it's ranked towards the top or oftentimes at the top. That makes it attractive for other businesses to come in here, and I've highlighted plenty of those before, but some of those to think about that are adding hundreds of jobs just over the next year or two are going to be companies like Siemens Mobility down in Davidson County. They're going to be manufacturing trains and adding hundreds of jobs down there. Then out towards the airport, you have Marshall USA in the aerospace industry. They're going to be adding hundreds of jobs for manufacturing out there. Of course, we've covered Boom Supersonic. They're going to go into production in 2024 sometime. They'll be adding hundreds or thousands of jobs out there. In the medical industry, you have Javara right in the Innovation Quarter in Winston-Salem. That's going to be adding 200 to 400 jobs over the next couple of years in Winston-Salem. Again, in manufacturing, you have German company Zeal Abeg going to be adding hundreds of jobs in Forsyth County, probably out towards Kernersville with their new company location. And we haven't even talked about how the Carolina core is scheduled to really take shape over the next 5 to 10 years. You're going to have the Toyota battery plant down there. That's going to be one of the first ones to open up, thousands of jobs. But that goes with a whole plan that the state has to really develop the Carolina core. Will bring thousands and thousands of jobs over the next decade or so. Unemployment in Winston-Salem still stays below the national average, with recruiters saying they have to pay a premium for highly sought after jobs. All this good news for the area, which is attracting more and more people. Another reason people are moving to Winston-Salem is for a city of its size, there are just a tremendous amount of things to do here. It just has really great amenities and they're adding on to them all the time. There's been over $1 billion in development in the downtown area in the last 10 years, with about another $1 billion in projects underway or planned for the next decade as well. And down there you have a little bit of everything from theater to art galleries to museums to the new Callidium Children's Museum. Restaurants in Winston-Salem, openings outpace closings in 2023, even after a weird couple of years after the pandemic. If you're into the outdoors, there's miles of greenways that you can explore. The city has close to 80 parks that they maintain. If you head a little bit west, you have the Yadkin River for kayaking and fishing, or just a little further west and you're in wine country. It has such a unique blend of history right in Winston-Salem with Old Salem, and right next to that almost is Innovation Quarter. So just a really blend of old and new that is really exciting with a lot of different things to explore. With the colleges and universities here, you have plenty of college sports. While we don't have any major sports team, we do have plenty of college sports. We have the Chicago White Sox A-League baseball team here, the Winston-Salem Dash. Some pretty good shopping at Thruway Center, but really the best shopping is probably just heading out to Greensboro a little bit more, but plenty of things to do in Winston-Salem. It really punches above its weight in that category. Last reason people are really moving out here a lot is the city itself, the city of arts and innovation. It's a city it's a little quirky, it's a little eclectic, it has definite history and roots in the past, but it keeps looking towards the future. You have a huge artist community here in Winston-Salem with all the galleries and things like that, but you also have a growing innovation community here. You have Innovation Quarter and IQ2 that's going to be expanding into the city next year. A lot of technical and medical-based jobs are coming here in that, but also new retail space, new things to do, lots more green space in the city. So the city itself has done more than just a rebrand. I mean, they really are the city of arts and innovation. It has both ends of the spectrum, which makes it really unique among mid-sized cities in the South. If you're planning on moving to Winston-Salem, I'd love to be a resource for you. You can reach out to me directly at jeff@govalentino.com. Thanks.